What's up, folks? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to be building a simple quiz app with AI. Essentially, we're going to be using LangChain and the OpenAI API to build a very simple app where you can input some text and get a very interesting and well-formatted quiz with different customization features that you can, tweak to make it your own and to quiz yourself about any topic that you're interested in. So let's get started, all right? So the idea is this. I've already built a version of this, which I would like to improve. So first I'm gonna rewind the first version of this app that I've built, and I'm gonna do that in front of you so that you can see the process. And after that, I'm gonna try to introduce a few improvements, like, showing the score and, a few little things at the end to, give a little bit of personality to the simple quiz app. All right. So to get started, let's just, I'm going to start with the imports, right? So I used a LangChain and Streamlit. So Streamlit is going to be for the front end of the app, right? And LangChain is going to be on the back end as the framework to orchestrate the different chains and different things that are going on with the operations of the large language model using ChatGPT to transform text into a well-formatted quiz. All right. So the first thing that I'm doing is writing a function called create the quiz prompt template. And essentially, this is just, something that returns a very interesting and elaborate prompt that I did, which is like a template for this particular quiz app. Now, this template involves, first, I say you're an expert quiz maker for technical fields. Let me just show you here big. Let's think step by step and create a quiz with, and then the variables that will go into this prompt. And if you're not aware of how LangChain works and what a prompt template is, go check out their documentation. It's pretty cool. I'm going to leave a link in the description with, information about that. And essentially, we're going to be inputting in the app number of questions that you want and the type of quiz that you want. And also the context of the quiz. The context of the quiz essentially is the text or the information or the topic. You can do something like, I want a quiz about some like Python programming, but you can also ask for something like, I want a quiz about this particular section of this paper that I'm reading, right? Okay, so then what we're going to do is the format is going to be, I'm going to give a few options of formats for quizzes. So you can have types of questions like multiple choice, open-ended, and true or false. So multiple choice, I'm going to give a few examples and I'm going to give a structure so that the model knows how to build these templates, how to build these questions. So the multiple choice format is going to involve a question, and then a few possible answers. So A, B, C, and D, right? And then another question, A, B, C, and D, etc., right? And it will also involve a section with just the answers for those questions, which will be in a separate section of the output so that I can cut that out and hide from the user until the user has replied to all the questions in the quiz app. So for example, a question could be something like, what's the time complexity of a binary search tree? And then you have like 4 options, and then you have an answer, and the answer will be hidden away from the user. For the true or false questions, we're going to do, okay, you have these questions, true or false, and then the answers for those respective questions, true or false, true or false. For example, what's a binary search tree? How are binary search trees implemented? And actually, this is a terrible example. I've just realized that um, this is not a good true or false example. So it's nice to do this thing of rewinding because you realized, yeah, there you go. Hard binary search trees. Let's let GitHub Copilot fix that for me. And then let's see. Uh, there we go. And all right. So now for the now I'm gonna rewrite the rest of the stuff. Let me just copy this. Okay, now that I copied this, I can do Control Z a little bit. There we go. And I'm just gonna paste the correct version of this because I actually had not seen that before. So it's nice to do this in front of the camera so that I can actually see my mistakes. So now these are actually good examples of true or false questions. That's pretty cool. And now we go to the other type of question, which is the open-ended type. And in the open-ended type, all we're gonna do is put in the questions and then put in the answers. In this example here, the open-ended response would be just an example of what would be a good answer for that question, right? Just like in the examples that we're showing here on the bottom. And let me just, yeah, so I'm just gonna continue Control Z, and then at the end, I will replace that with the correct example. All right, so then once I've done that, I'm gonna use LangChain's chat prompt template, right? And then give this entire string as the template. And I'm gonna format that as an example. Actually, I'm not gonna format that because I was doing that in the notebook, but I don't need to do that anymore. Although if I do that now, I'm not gonna be able to do Control Z anymore. So we're gonna remove this line as well because it's not necessary. Formatting something is just to show an example of what, you know, a prompt would look like. And the idea is that the user in the front end of the app will be able to input how many questions the user wants, what kind of quiz the user wants, and the context of the quiz, so the text or the topic. All right, so now that we have a prompt template that we actually need to fix, but it's good enough for now, we're going to create what I call the quiz chain, which is going to combine the prompt template, the LLM, and the something called a string output parser, which in LangChain is just something that processes the output of a chain into a string directly instead of an AI message object. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go check out LangChain documentation. Essentially, LangChain is based upon these chains, which are like building blocks. And the idea is that these building blocks usually output some type of AI message object, which LangChain uses to be able to compose different chains together in some dynamic way. So you use something like this, which is an output parser, to output whatever output came before that from the prompt plus the LLM into a format that you like. So it can be a dictionary, it can be a string, it can be a bunch of stuff, all right? So here we're splitting questions and answers. Now, if you're aware of this, you know that I could use Pydantic to do this kind of stuff, but I've done this quite a while ago and I wasn't quite aware of Pydantic at that time. So it might be something that we work on today, making this part better. But essentially what I'm doing here is splitting questions and answers. So if you remember in the format, we're getting questions and then answers like this. So I'm counting on this type of output answer format to then split it like this. And one thing that's a bit weird about this is that I'm just, you know, splitting based on the answers column string. But honestly, I've tested this app and it works quite well. So I've never had any issues with this function particularly. But I might change this to Pydantic, and Pydantic essentially allows you to do data validation plus large language models. What does that mean? It means that you can have super structured outputs from LLMs, and it's awesome. I love it, and I might use it. All right. So now that we have the ability to split the output of the model and separate questions and answers, let's define our main function that's going to contain the app, and it's going to contain all the functionality put together. So we're going to give this app a title. In this case, it's going to be called Quiz App. Then I'm going to write this app generates a quiz based on the context. And then I'm going to set the OpenAI API key for this app, which is something the user can do, right? And then I'm going to set the prompt template, which is that thing that you saw in the beginning that defines what the output of the model should be in terms of what the quiz should look like. Then if we have the OpenAI API key, we can set that as an environment variable or send out an error. And then we're going to instantiate the chat OpenAI object, which essentially calls the ChatGPT API. We're going to create our quiz chain. Remember that little function there, which puts everything together, right? So this is the core. The create quiz chain is the heart of the app, which is like so simple and silly, right? And then we're going to set up a little bit of the front end. So the user is going to be able to enter the text or the concept or whatever he wants to be quizzed on, the number of questions, the type of quiz. So it can be multiple choice, true or false, open-ended, etc. And then the user will be able to generate the quiz by pressing a button. And then that will invoke the quiz chain. And then after that quiz chain is generated, it will split the output into questions and answers. And then we're going to store that into a session state. And that's helpful because you want to be able to keep track of those questions and answers. And then we're going to write them down. And then we're going to also add a button saying show answers. And that is why the session state is so useful, right? Because it means that we can access variables outside of the scope of things like buttons, etc. And then we're going to write down, if the user clicks show answers, we're going to write down the question and the respective answer for the user. And finally, we're going to call out our app and execute. All right, so I should have done that kind of like more interactively, but it's fine. Now what we're going to do is we're going to execute this app, right? So to execute this app, I actually have an environment with this, which is automations. But if, and maybe we can do that real quick, if I didn't have this environment already set up, how would I do that? So I would create an environment. I would say conda create -n, and then I would say, let's call it quiz app, right? And I want Python 3.10. So I'm going to say Python equal 3.10. And then I'm going to hit enter, which will create my app. And then this is awesome. This is great. This is beautiful. We're creating the virtual environment where we're going to install all the stuff that we need. And then we're going to say, okay, pip install Streamlit, LangChain, and LangChain OpenAI. I think that should be enough for this app. So I'm just going to hit that, and that will install all the packages that I need to execute the app. All right. Oh, now I just realized that I had not activated my environment, so that's annoying. So I'm activating my environment and now installing that again, which is very annoying, but it's okay. So I activated my environment, installing all the stuff. All right, so come on, install it, install it. It will install it in a second. Come on. There we go. Now we're almost there, and come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. All right, there we go, finally. So now we can call Streamlit run, and then run our app with quizapp.py, which will create and execute our app here on my right. And now you should, enter your OpenAI API key. So I can just come over here and execute a simple command, which will put up my OpenAI key here. And now that we've done that, we have the app to use. So now that we have here, I can, enter a concept, let's say large language models, and let's say just 3 questions. Let's put to true or false, and let's say generate the quiz. So now we're generating the quiz, and here we have a quiz. True or false questions. Large language models are a type of AI used for natural language processing. Yeah, sure, true. Large language models are trained on small data sets. Not true at all. They're trained on huge data sets. Large language models have been criticized for the potential to generate bias or harmful content. Very true. So this is true, false, true. True, false, true. Look at that. Beautiful. So everything seems to be working quite well. What I don't like, there are a few things that I don't like about the output that I would like to, improve. One of the things is I would like to make the output of the questions checkable. So I would like to check question 1, question 2, question 3, right? And then once I've done that, when I give an answer to the question, so question 1, this, question 2, that, etc. What I would like to do is the answers, when I click, let's say, score, or I would have like an extra button that would give me the total score, summing up all the checkboxes that are created. So I'm not 100% sure how I would do that, but I have an idea. So let's try that out, okay? Have an idea of how to do this. So what is my idea? So before we can talk about anything, let's just talk about what is this idea that I have. I'm just gonna come here. I'm gonna show you like a little drawing of my idea that hopefully is gonna be amazing. So let me see, white. Can I write some text on this thing? Yes, but okay, cool. And all right, doesn't look amazing, but okay. Okay, so I'm testing out this new feature in this Arc browser. Okay, what is my idea? My idea is this. I will get the output quiz from the model, right? So I got here my quiz, right? So let me just write it down here. So this is the quiz, okay? We got a quiz right here. And then what's gonna happen is we got the quiz, and then the quiz, before it's shown to the app, what we're gonna do is we are going to show it to what? We're gonna send it to Pydantic, okay? Pydantic, essentially that library that I told you about, is a library that allows you to do some cool stuff. And what it allows you to do is get structured output out from the model. So what I expect to get from Pydantic here would be something like, okay, now I'm gonna have a dictionary that has things like, okay, the question. So question one, yeah, exactly. So you would have question one, and also question two, question three, etc. Right? So I would have question one, I would have question three, question two, question three, etc. Right? So I will have all these questions as accessible variable, like elements in a dictionary, right? And why is that useful? That's useful because once I have that, once I have all these questions with the same thing for the answers, right? So I would have the questions, but I would also have, sorry. So let's try that again. So I would have the questions, but I would also have the answers. And I'm so sorry that this looks so confusing, but it is what it is, folks. I'm trying this right now, kind of like on the fly. So I would have, all the questions and all the answers organized and accessible through a dictionary. And why is that cool and amazing and beautiful? Because, let's see, answer one, and then answer two, right? And then answer two, and then answer three. Oh, this is so bad. I'm so sorry. All right, doesn't matter. So I would have all these different factors. So what that means is that I can transform each of these into the checkbox that I want. So I'm just gonna come here and I'm gonna add little checkboxes to each of the questions because I have them accessible, right? So I'm just gonna come here. I'm gonna say, okay, cool. Now that I can separate each question, I can put them under a checkbox in the app, right? So I'll have like little questions in the app that I can use. And then, oh, this is so bad. All right. Oh, there we go. So then what am I going to do? I'm going to add this in the app. Okay, so this is going to be, so this part, the checkboxes are going to be at the level of the app because now I have all the questions individualized, right? They're not going to be in the string. Now, of course, I could try to do some hacky thing with the string, right? Like to split the string and whatever, but I'm not a big fan of that approach, okay? So I prefer to have them structurally organized. So I'm gonna have this at the level of the front end. So I'm just gonna write here front end or something like that. So, no, yeah, there you go, beautiful. No, kind of like this. And then, brown, this is at the level of the front end. And then what's gonna happen is I'm gonna take all of that, right? So all the questions, all the answers, now with the checkboxes, right? And I'm gonna organize that so that I can, so it's not really that I'm gonna take all of that, but I'm gonna take, that's true. I'm gonna take all of that information from the questions and the answers and generate that wonderful score that we were talking about. All right, folks, that's what we're gonna do. So that should be pretty easy if I have access to the information from the questions in the checkbox. So that was a complicated way of saying I need to change up some stuff. And I don't really remember everything about how to do checkboxes and how to, I always forget how to do get structure output from the model and whatever. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little notebook here. It's going to be called quiz checkboxes experiments IPYMB. I know that LangChain has a bunch of amazing extraction structured chains and whatnot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this I'm going to take the create prompt temp. Yeah, I'm going to use these two functions, right? Create quiz chain, all of this good stuff. And I'm going to put it here, right? I'm also going to copy back the LangChain stuff. Yeah. And then I'm going to put it there. And now we don't need this right now. And now I'm going to use this. And what am I doing here? I'm going to load the functions from the other app. So I'm going to say from quiz app import create quiz chain and create quiz prompt template. This way I have the functions there and then they're being used here. So it's like everything's very nice, organized. And what am I going to do? So OpenAI API quiz. So create quiz chain demands OpenAI API key, but we don't need it actually. So I'm going to remove it from there. There we go. We don't need it. And now with this chain, we get the string output parser, right? So let's show you an example of what that means. So I'm just going to set up my kernel. My kernel should be the quiz app environment that I have, right? So I'm just going to stop this for a second. And I'm going to say Python. So I'm going to give this environment access to my kernel. But that's, yeah, I don't even need to do that. I'm just gonna say kernel, Jupyter kernel, and I don't know, probably automations has the stuff that I need. I'm not gonna do it in the same environment just because I don't want to set up the kernel and redo the steps. Okay, so now chain dot invoke. I'm just gonna say Python programming. Let me just say if the dot invoke, I gotta give it a dictionary. Yeah, I gotta give it a dictionary with quiz type is equal to true, false, and then number of questions is equal to like 3, and then context. I'm just gonna say large language models. So context equals large language models. All right, and now we're gonna run this, and just so that you can see what the output is. All right, this is great. Let's show that in a more nicer way. So I'm gonna get the markdown and I'm gonna visualize that as a markdown. No, I don't need that. And now, we gotta say display here. There we go. So this is what we get, right? Large language models are this or that, etc. And then we get the answer. That's perfect. But I want to organize. I want this to be questions and answers to be like this object, right? So what I'm going to say, I'm going to create a couple of Pydantic classes to structure that output. So that organizes the schema of what I want. So how do you do that? Well, in LangChain, you would do something like LangChain.Pydantic view1 import base model. If I'm not mistaken, I think this is what you do. Base model. And I think field, there you go. And now I'm going to say quiz response. Beautiful. Okay, so GitHub Copilot's already doing it for me. Let's see if GitHub Copilot can do it all. So we got the text, the questions, and the answers. Let me see if that makes any sense. Maybe. I was thinking about getting like question, but then I would have to like specify all that. Yeah, this should be fine. Yeah, this should be fine. So now I want to create a chain that kind of parses that correctly. So let's see if that actually works. So let's say quiz response object. Yeah, it didn't obviously because I'm forgetting some stuff. I need to combine this with LangChain to get the proper structure schema. So what am I going to do? what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a chain and set up a parser with Pydantic that uses this as a schema. So I'm going to set up my LLM. So I'm going to say LLM equal chat OpenAI, temperature 0. I'm going to set up, and then I'm going to create my own chain that does that. To do that, I need to remember what is the correct line for that. And where do I have that? Let's see, ls Pydantic, structured. Oh, there you go. So I'm going to copy all of these to where I'm working on right now, which is content quiz AI. And now I can go and check what that output should look like. So now let's see. Let me see. Pydantic something. There we go. And now we got here, we got there. Okay, so this is directly with Pydantic and the instructor thing. I want the LangChain version. So this is not what I want right now. Let's see. Quiz checkboxes. Experiment, structure, prompting, something. This is not enough. This is not what I'm looking for. So let's look for that thing. Pydantic. So this is not structured output. Structured output. Extraction. Agent for extraction. Nope. Let me see if I can find it. Chain agents, extraction, prompt engineering, returning. There you go. This is what I was looking for. Returning, ta-da-da-da-da. Okay, these examples are great. I'm gonna get this example, returning structure output, and then I'm gonna send it to where I'm working, which is Quiz AI app. Beautiful. Now that we have it, I can come here, and this is the example that I was looking for. Return structure output. Perfect. And now I just need the setup. So create a retriever tool. Now, there you go. This is what I want. So I have the base model here. And how do I set it as, yeah, filled with the description, list int with the description. Okay, perfect. I'm going to use this information as well. Linkchain card agents, etc., parse. Okay, so this is an agent setup, which is great, but that's not what I want. So LLM with tools, I'm biting with the retriever tool. This is the setup with an agent, which is not what I want. I just want to set up with the LLM itself. So I just want to set up with the LLM. I just need to remember how to do that stuff. Come on, come on, come on. Let me think. Base model. Ta-da-da-da-da. All right, I'm not 100%, but I have an idea. I know more or less an idea on how to do that. So equals to filled. Yeah. And I'm gonna come here also. I'm gonna say, yeah, typing import list from typing import list. And now this is going to be like a list of strings. It's going to be a list of strings, the quiz answers. Yeah. And now I need from LangChain. So this is the setup that I have, right? The quiz response is the structure schema that I need. What I need next is to remember how to do that in LangChain. So from LangChain dot schema dot output parser import, but I can, let's see if I can say chain. Let's see if I can say, okay, so I have a prompt template, right? So prompt template equal create quiz prompt template. And then I'm going to say chain is equal to prompt template. This is actually the prompt. So let's say prompt. I'm going to say prompt and then LLM dot with structured output quiz response. I think this should work. Let's see. Oh, there's the deprecation warning. So let's see. This function is in beta. It's being worked on, so API may change. All right, because usually I could pass an output parser with a Pydantic thing, and then the Pydantic output parser would contain the quiz response object. But I think this also works. So let's say chain.invoke. So let's see if that works, folks. Oh, it seems like it works. Yes, it works, folks. So let's see, output quiz. Beautiful. So it seems like we got what we needed. Let me see if I can put this in a markdown so that everyone can see like nicer. Nope. Quiz text. Okay. Quiz questions. Nope. Quiz text, I guess. What was the other one? Quiz questions. Let's try quiz questions. It's because quiz questions is a list. Right. Okay, no worries. So I have output quiz, and I have the quiz text, and then I have each question. Yes, each question in a beautifully organized list, as well as the answers. This is what we wanted, folks, because now, and just to play around with this, right? So let's take the same setup, but let's try to, instead of doing with structured output, since they had this, ominous message about, stuff is being worked on, we might break this, and, we don't care. I'm just kidding. I love LangChain, but let's see if we can go langchain.schema.output parser, import Pydantic output parser. No, it's output parser, base output parser, output parser, Pydantic. No, Pydantic, also no. No, it's also no. LangChain.pydantic view1 import. Let's try output parsers, import Pydantic output parser. There we go. So let's see if I could do something like a Pydantic output parser with quiz response, and let's see if it would give me the same thing. So I would say chain.invoke, and nope. And it takes one position, but you were given in the serializable. Serializable init takes one, but you were given. So Pydantic output parser doesn't work because, right. So I can say output parser is equal to this. I don't think that this is the way. I forgot how to do that. How to set up the parser. Doesn't matter. That one worked. I can look that up in the documentation later. So what matters is that now we get the correct output, so we can have control over the questions and the answers, right? Which is what we wanted in the first place. So now that we have that ability, let's integrate that into the app, okay? So we're going to change our chain that we were doing initially so that it returns this list of questions, answers, etc., right? Also, I want to say just quiz text, and then I just want to say questions. I don't like quiz answers. So in answers, that's much simpler, nicer. Okay, questions and answers, okay? And then this, and that. And then we can say this. And then we can say, okay, questions. And there we go. This is very cool. And then we can say also answers. And then there we go. Okay, so we're going to integrate this new chain into our original app. So what we're going to be doing, and let's make this a little bit bigger. Let's put the quiz app right here on my right. I'm going to get here this chain, and now there are going to be some changes, right? So first things first is we're going to be importing Pydantic. So instead of the string output parser we were doing before, now it's going to be langchain.pydantic view1, import base model, and the field thing. Now, besides that, we're going to set up our class here. So we're going to say quiz response. And I don't know why I'm writing this instead of copying. And I'm going to stop that right now. Just going to copy this. And then I'm just going to go over that again. Oh, no, go back. There we go. So I'm going here. I'm pasting that right there. And then I'm also adding from typing import, from typing import list. Beautiful. So this is set up. And now that this is set up, let's come back here and let's set up our new chain, which now has the structured output. So I'm just going to come here in our app, and instead of being structured output parser, it's going to be dot with LLM dot with structured dot with structured output, And then I'm going to give the quiz response, which is the object we define with Pydantic that can give us that nice little response, right? So this is beautiful. This works. When we get the output now, it's going to be a bit different. So this function split questions answers is going to have to change a little bit, right? Because now it's not going to be about splitting with that string hack that we were doing before. So I'm going to come here. I'm going to change it. So now we have much better control of the quiz response, because the quiz response is actually not a string anymore, but actually a quiz response object, which I don't think I should do it like this. Whatever, it's fine. So now I'm going to say quiz response dot questions. Okay, so I'm just going to say that. So that this is going to be, this will be a list with the questions. No, a list of questions. Yeah, a list of questions. And then the answers, same thing. We're going to say dot answers will be a list of answers. Yeah, that's why I love Pydantic, because now I have control over stuff. And now we actually get lists of questions and answers, which are objects we have much more control over. And I mean, of course, we were getting lists before, but in this scenario now, it's a much more safe and well-structured control, rather than, you know, having issues with strings and having an extra bullet point in the thing because the split didn't work, whatever it is. So now we know that these are questions and answers. So where are our questions and answers? So now we have these, right? So what I want now is to loop over the questions, create checkboxes for each question, and then store the responses from the user to the questions, so I can create a score of the answers. So I'm going to create, that's a lot of stuff. So what I'm going to do instead, I'm just going to ask GitHub Copilot to do that. So I'm going to select the part that's relevant and say, loop over the questions and create checkboxes with the text, store the answers from the users in a store the answers from the users and generate a score based on the answers. So let's see if that works. So it should create like a session state with a variable that stores the score, keeps track of all the questions generated in the checkbox, etc. So let's see if that works, and hopefully GitHub Copilot will do it right. So, okay, so what it did, let's see. So we have session state with answers questions, and then the user answers, which is like something multiplied by the length of the questions. So it starts with an empty list with like a none. And then for I in questions, question, and then user I is checkbox answer for question tau. Okay. If we submit the answers, we have a score, and then we write. This is looking pretty good, folks. This is looking pretty good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on my left. I'm going to have my browser here on my right. I'm going to go here to my app. I'm going to call Streamlit run again. Beautiful. I'm going to open up. Let's see if it works this time. Oh, enter your OpenAI API key. And we have a problem with the quiz chain. Okay, no worries. One thing at a time. First, the API key. So I'm just going to come over here. I'm just going to say echo something. Okay, and then I'm going to paste it here. And that's done. And now quiz chain takes two positional arguments. No worries. Let's take a look at that. Quiz chain. So prompt template and LLM. Okay, prompt template and LLM, sure. And then here we were doing 3, but we're not using OpenAI API key anymore. That's okay. Always rerun. So now let's do it. I'm going to say again, let's say large language models. I'm going to hit not multiple choice first. Let's hit first true or false, because it's easier to evaluate for checkboxes, right? Let's generate our quiz. Let's see if it works. Yes! Let's go. All right, so we're looking pretty good. Actually, we're not. We're looking horrible because, okay, so we have the questions. We have like a checkbox thing, which when I click, it just goes away, which is very annoying. But okay, we're getting somewhere. That's progress, right? So let's take a look and see. So GitHub Copilot could not figure this out. So let's see. The checkbox answer for question 1. Yeah, so the checkbox is not integrating the actual answers. So we're gonna say is session state user answers I, okay, is equal to, okay, so this is a bit weird. User answers. Okay, so the checkbox should have the answers for the questions. So I'm gonna say this should be, for example, what are the answers? The answers are here, right? So I'm gonna put them there. So this is gonna come over here and it's gonna be I. There we go. So let's see if that works. And okay, almost. True or false. And then we have widgets with the same generated key. That's annoying. So user answers I is equal to the checkbox. Session state answers I. So that's the answer to the question. That's great. But then the problem is the checkboxes cannot be like true or false. Yeah, Streamlit doesn't like that. Okay, that's okay because it's for, but if I did multiple choice, this probably would work. So let's try that. Let's put multiple choice. Let's click generate quiz. Yeah, as you see, what are language models? A, advanced, da da da. Okay, so it doesn't work perfect. And let's see why. Because I'm not looping over all the answers for each question, of course. So for I answer in enumerate, nah, yeah, like this. Nope, not like this. Like this. I'm gonna copy this, right? We're gonna enumerate st.session_state.answers. Yes. And then what we're gonna do is, okay, we okay, so we're keeping track of the answers that the user is gonna get. That's why we have the user answers in the session state here. However, we will have the checkbox contain each answer available for that question, right? So we're gonna come over here. Let me just put this a little bit smaller, maybe. No, a bit bigger because I want you folks to see it. So we're gonna come here. We're gonna say, okay, so this is gonna be answer I. This is perfect. Yeah. Since we already have an I there, let's say this is gonna be IQ. No. Let's keep this I, and this is going to be IA, which is like the index of the answer. All right. So it's index of the answer. So we're gonna change it here, and we're also gonna change it here. Yeah. So each, yeah, user answers will have the same index for the answers, of course. Okay, I think this should work. Let's see if it works. Generate the quiz. And all right, folks. So we're getting progress. What are large language models? Option A, option B, option C. And then we cannot have the duplicate widget ID. So we're going to have to look into that. Okay. This is beautiful. So now, folks, as you can see, this thing works. And we have the checkboxes here. We just got to understand how to fix this issue with the duplicate widget ID. So let's understand which widget ID is being duplicated, and let's go from there. So we have user answers IA, ta-da-da. So for the second question, we have user answers be the same as something else, I guess. What are large language models? Session state I is assigned a key based on, okay. So I have no idea. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna copy this. I'm gonna cheat a little bit. So I have this app. I am trying to figure out how to set checkboxes for the alternatives to the questions, but I keep getting the duplicate widget ID error in Streamlit. Fix it, please. So let's say if GPT-4 has an answer for my issue, because I don't want to be going through all of it to see. So to resolve, you need to ensure that each checkbox has a unique key. Yeah, okay. So which one was not unique? That's what I want to know. You're using a loop to create checkbox for the answer, but it seems like you're not providing a unique key for each checkbox. Okay. It uses these to distinguish between different widgets. Yeah, I know. So use the enumerate to generate a unique index for each question and answer. Okay. So for I, enumerate questions. For IA, in the answers, and then it's like the answers for IA answer in tarari. Okay. For answers IA, user answers. Actually, this wasn't even, was supposed to be like that. It was supposed to be the other thing. So checkbox key. Okay. Checkbox key. Okay. So, oh, I got it. So I had just to set a key to the checkboxes, and the key is going to be a result of the two things. Okay. So I just got to add this. Thank you very much, GPT-4. So we're going to set this. We're going to say this. And then here, I don't have to say session state something, something. I can say just answer, and then I'm going to say key is equal to checkbox key. And this thing should work, I think, right? Hopefully. So let's see if we got some progress there. So for the multiple choice, actually with the key now, even the true or false should work. So let's go back to true or false. Let's generate the quiz. Folks, progress, folks. Let's do this. However, we got true, true, false, true, true, false. That doesn't make any sense. So why would we be getting true, true, false instead of just true, false, true, false, true, false? That doesn't make any sense, does it? So we say answer, answer, ta-la-la-la, and session state answer. And then for each question, each answer. Each question, answer, ta-da-di-ta-da-da. Session state IA is key is equal to this, and then the answer in the checkbox. Why would I get, unless the answers are incorrect? That could be a mistake of the answers themselves, not a mistake of the. So what I can do to check that is just to say st, just st right, st dot session state dot answers, just to see if this is a mistake of the output of our chain. Let's take a look. Hopefully it's not. It is. So it's giving like 0, 1, and 2. That doesn't make any sense. It should be just true or false. Now, why? Now we got to ask the question, why would that be happening, right? Why would the answers be like 0? Yeah, that doesn't make a lot of sense. So what can we do to find that out? Well, we can say, we can come over here. We can say question, answer true or false. Yeah, we just want true or false. But we're getting like this list that doesn't make a lot of sense. So that might be an issue with the structure output that we're getting back, which is annoying, right? It's a bit annoying. Maybe because, yeah, the questions that we have here are bad. So let's just make questions. Yeah, we're make questions that make sense for a true or false situation. And let's try that again. Let's see if now true or false. There we go, folks. However, now it's saying true or true. Now that's annoying because we want the alternatives to be just true or false, true or false. So the answers, that's because these are the answers, not the alternatives to the, what am I doing? Folks, I was being very confusing. So these are the answers to the questions, not the alternatives. Of course, it's going to be true, true, false, right? Because these are just what is the answer for that particular question. So I'm not going to loop. Yeah. Like I was being silly just then. So what I'm going to say is, what are the answers? So the user answers are going to be checkboxes, which in the case of true or false question, we're going to have a type of checkbox. Multiple choice, another type, right? So this type in particular is for the multiple choice, not for the true or false situation. So what we're going to do is, I'm gonna create, I think, a loop for each type of question. So yeah, that's exactly what I'm gonna do, because it doesn't make sense what I was doing before. Let's say first, yeah, if it's a multiple choice, this is what we do. And now, if quiz type is true or false, let's see if GitHub Copilot can do some magic. Oh, GitHub Copilot apparently can do some magic. There we go. This is very nice. And now let's create the final one, which is open-ended. This is very nice. Let's test that out. So now I'm going to generate the quiz. True, false, true. Yeah, but I'm not going to be writing down the answers anymore. Okay, so generating the quiz again. Quiz generated, true, false questions. Large language models are a type of AI that can generate human-like text. Select true or false. True or false, true or false. Okay, so now I have it submitted as true. I would not like it to be already submitted as true. But it's fine, it's fine. So let's leave it like that, right? So large language model type of AI that can generate, but that's true. Large models are typically trained on a vast amount of data. That's true. And now let's submit the answers. And then when I click submit the answers, it does something weird, which is quite annoying, isn't it? When I click submit the answers, it just does this thing, and it doesn't do anything actually, because user answer is equal to, yeah, that doesn't make sense. We got to create a proper submit answer score thing. So I'm just gonna copy this, and I'm gonna say, no, let's see if GitHub Copilot can fix it. So let's just say, I think I can say fix it. Yeah, let's see if it can fix it. I select it, I called fix. Okay, that looks all right. Session state. Okay. Okay, this looks much better. So let's see if that works now. So let's generate the quiz for true or false. Okay, so models are designed to process and generate text. Sure. They're trained using unsupervised learning techniques. That's, yeah, I mean, that's true, but you have a supervised training and self-supervised, and they don't have reinforcement learning, which is kind of unsupervised. Yeah, okay. Models have a fixed size and cannot be scaled further. No, that's false. So let's put false. And when I click false, oh, that's very annoying. So now when I click false in this thing, yeah, I don't like this style at all. So I would prefer checkbox instead. So let's say checkbox, please. I don't know if we can say it like this. Let's see what happens when I generate the quiz. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. So let's see. Okay, so the thing that it did there, it didn't really improve where I was going with this. So if it's true or false, I wanted to use checkbox instead. Yeah, so fix this so that it uses st.checkbox instead. Because st.checkbox, I think, is going to give us a better reply and control of the answer in general. But I don't know. Let's see. Generate quiz. Okay, no, that's very bad. User answers checkbox. st.checkbox. True or false? Let's see if I can do like false. Let's see if that works. Nope, that you cannot do that at all. So for each question, we're going to create a user answer true, user answer false. Exactly. So yeah, I have an idea. So if st.checkbox true, yeah, user answer is equal true. If Checkbox answer false. User answer equals a false. Yeah, I like this one. I like this approach. Let's see if it works. Come on. Okay, so duplicate ID because I'm using the same checkbox key. So I'm going to say checkbox key true, checkbox key false, and hopefully that will fix it. No, still doesn't. Checkbox key referenced before assignment. Because I didn't pass it along. Sorry about that. Checkbox key true, and then checkbox key false. So now let's go again. Let's see if it works. Come on. Duplicate widget ID with answer 0 because answer I. Yeah, of course. I gotta say answer I true, answer I false, and now they have unique IDs. So let's generate the quiz again. There we go, folks. Now we're talking. And now let's see. I click on true. Oh, all right. This is annoying. Okay, so but at least this thing is working, right? We just got to figure out why when I click it. Okay, I know why, right? When you click, you update the state of the app. So I want the quiz moment to not update the state of the whole app. Okay. So I'm just gonna ask for help. So for my current app, when I click the checkbox for an answer, the app updates as it is customary. I don't know if that is normal in Streamlit. How can I avoid this so I can produce all the answers and then submit them and get a score before the whole app gets updated? So let's see what happens. Let's see if we can get a better answer. To avoid updates when you click, you can use its form feature, which will only update when a button is clicked. That's nice. I don't use ST form that much, so this is pretty cool. So now, wonderful ChatGPT is rewriting that for me, which I appreciate very much. Let's see if it gives me a better response. Okay, it's looking pretty good. Is using the st.radio thing. All right, let's see if it actually does it correctly. I don't know. Let's hopefully it will. Because it shouldn't be that hard, right? Because it's Python. So, all right. So now I have it updated. I'm generating the quiz. Okay, so it's a form style. Their models are based on deep learning techniques. Yes, models have been used in natural language processing tasks. Yeah, sure. Submit the answers, and it just doesn't work. That's annoying. So yeah, I click and submit, and it just doesn't do anything. So what happened there? Score, and then your score is tarari tarara. Else score.sum. Okay, so when I click the submit, it just disappears. So let's see if ChatGPT has an answer. When I click to submit, the app just re-updates again. Let's see if we can get a better answer. To address the issue where clicking submit causes the entire app to update, you can use the session state to persist quiz data across runs. Okay. Yeah, so let's say, yeah, we can say st.session state dot submit or something like that, right? Is like submit answers. Yeah, and then we can say, okay, I like this. If the button generate the quiz, state questions, display the questions, process submission. Okay, so now ChatGPT is kind of rewriting it quite a bit. Don't know if I'm going to trust it, but let's try it out. And if its version works, great. If it doesn't, we'll try a simpler update than this complete rewrite that ChatGPT just did. Okay, so now we're going there again. Okay, this is cool. This is cool. So I updated the app, but it's still there, the quiz. This is pretty neat. So let's try to submit the answer here. Oh, scores 2 out of 2. There we go. Let's generate another quiz. Okay, models are trained on small data sets. That's false. Models have ability to generate human-like text. That's true. Models are not computationally intensive. That's so false. Submit. Answer all the questions before submitting. I already did answer all the questions before submitting. What are you talking about? Come on. Da-da-da, da-da-da. All right, so it worked kind of, but still weird. So let's generate another quiz. Models are designed to process and generate text. That's true. Models are trained on vast amounts of text data. True. Models do not require computational resources to train. That's false. Submit answers. Answer all the questions. So it's not really seeing that I've answered all the questions. But this is better. We're getting somewhere. Okay, this works. Okay, this almost worked. It keeps asking to answer all the questions, even when they are all answered. So meaning that for some reason, st.sessionStateUser answers is none, even when, you know, the answer may, even if the answers are actually there. So if user answers in session state, so let's see. Let's see the answer. So it's answering your question if there are answers. To fix, you need to update. It capture the input for each question, updating the answers list accordingly. All right. All right. Let's see if the display questions improves. I don't know if display questions gonna solve. I don't think that's enough to solve the issue, but let's see. I'm gonna go back to my app here. I'm gonna say, okay, generate the quiz. Okay. Models are designed to process text. Yes. Models are trained on small data sets. False. Models have been used in applications in text. That's true. Submit. Score 0 out of 3. Now that's weird because I know that my answers are not incorrect. So it can be a problem with how it's processing the score, or it can be a problem of the answers themselves being incorrect, because I know that my answers there are correct. So what I would like to do is I want to print the ST session state answers, right? So st.write true, false, true. Yeah, and that's exactly what I did. True, false, true. Perfect. But nope. So let's see. True, false, true. Score is incorrect. So the calculation of the score now is the problem. So let's see why. Score is a sum of user answer equal correct. Tarari tarara, tarari tarara. Okay, so what I'm going to say is, okay, this improved, but now the score is being wrongly calculated. So now the score is like score divided by the session state. Okay, and then it's a sum of all user answer being equal to correct answer for the user answer correct answer in a zip of user answers and answers. So the user answers doesn't have the right stuff. Why would that be the case? Because user input is equal to select option, update user input, update user with a text input. That's for true or false. So for true or false, this is what we're doing. Selected option. Oh, convert to Boolean and update user answers. Okay, so I think. Okay, so I think that it was just a matter of an issue here. Selected option. Okay, I think now with this, Yeah, now it works. So it's just equal to selected option. Beautiful. So now this thing is working. So let's generate another one just to make sure that we have this thing right. Okay, true, true, false, true, true, false. I'm just gonna put the correct thing. Significant computational resources, 3 out of 3. Let's put one incorrect, 2 out of 3. Let's put another one incorrect, 1 out of 3. Folks, we are good to go, folks. We are working. This is super duper cool. So now let's say multiple choice. Ah, that's not good. So multiple choice, it doesn't make any sense. So let's see what's going on with multiple choice. Select your answer, st.radio, but the answers for the multiple choice example are the true or false stuff instead of being the actual answers. So that means that the update to the session state answers is not being done correctly for some weird reason. Let's see. Session state answers I, da 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 da. When I click to generate the quiz, let's see. Answers, quiz response answers. All right. So that should have worked. So I said multiple choice. Let's generate the quiz. Come on. Okay, so now the only issue is that it's looping over a string. I see. So that could be an issue of the answers being not being correctly put in the list. So let's print out the answers again. st.write st.session state.answers. Okay, so the answers are great. A, alternative A, B, and C. Okay, so question 0, this is the answer. Advanced tarari tarara. B, and then C. What are large language models? Advanced natural language processing models. That's a bad answer, but still an answer. What company developed GPT-3? OpenAI. To adapt to multi-specific task data set. What purpose of fine-tuning? To adapt to a specific task of data. That's perfect. So let's just understand why we created a bunch of like little check boxes for each character in the answer response. That's probably because it looped over the answers, but the answers were actually just a string. So we have the answers here. So question, there you go, option, and then answers I. So answers I, 0, 1, true. So that should have said, yeah, so this is incorrect because the answers are not going to be the multiple choice. Okay, so this is a good point. So how do we, yeah, in the question for the multiple choice, we should contain the alternatives, right? So I forgot about that. So I'm gonna just copy this. I'm gonna say questions, and let's see if the things are actually there. What are language models? Which company developed? What is the purpose of fine-tuning? Pralali, pralala. Okay. So I just realized that for multiple choice, we need, yeah, I just realized that what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop doing this as, yeah, I'm going to stop doing this as a one prompt type of thing because clearly this is not the best way. The best way is to have one prompt per type of question. This way I can set up a predefined structure for that particular type of question. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to come back here. And I like this. Like, this is pretty cool, right? You're an expert quiz maker, da-da-da, da-da-da. So we're going to create 3 quiz prompt templates now. And to do that, it's very simple. What am I going to do? I'm just going to copy this stuff. All right. I'm going to copy this stuff and I'm going to create 3 versions. The problem is they're going to be too big. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new file, and this is going to be called prompt quiz templates. Quiz templates.py, right? And we're going to put these big templates here, okay? So the multiple choice format, yeah, let's think about stuff. Yeah, create a quiz, and then we're not going to select, quiz type is not going to go here anymore. Or is it? No, because quiz type is going to be something that we set ourselves outside of the scope of the template. And quiz context, yes. And then we're going to have 3 types of format: multiple choice, true or false, and open-ended. So the format could be one of the following. So the format of the format of the quiz is as follows. And then this is going to be multiple choice. So we're going to have questions. And then for questions, we're going to explain alternatives. So it's going to be A, B, C, and D, whatever. And then question, I'm going to say alternatives 1. Yeah. Yeah, alternatives. Exactly. And then question 2, same thing. Alternatives. Oh, there you go. Alternatives 2, something like that. Yeah. This is going to be on our prompt. And this is great. And then this is the end of the prompt for this particular example. All right. And now we're going to use the rest as a, example questions, ta-da-di-ta-da-da. Okay. And then, oh, there's one thing that I'm missing here, which is to say answers. So we're going to have questions, the alternatives, and the answers. And then, so I'm going to put this here, and then I'm going to give an example so that it knows, what to say back. And now that I have this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this for our second example. And now that I have copied that, I'm going to close out the string. Okay. And now that I have closed out the string, I'm gonna just come over here. I'm gonna do this. There we go. So now we have, now we have the string properly put under there. So this is not the quiz prompt template anymore. This is the create multiple choice template. Okay. And now we're going to say def create true false template. And it's going to be very similar to the other one. And it's going to come with a prompt, chat prompt template, tra la la, and then return prompt. We don't need this formatting, folks. We really don't. And then I'm also going to say from LangChain.prompt import chat prompt template. That's great. So we have one template, and now the true or false template. We're just gonna come here and we're gonna say, well, what are we gonna say? I don't even remember. Okay. So there we go. We're gonna template is this, template is that. Ta-da-di-ta-da-da. Yeah. So now we're gonna just say this, and yeah. And now we have you're an expert quiz maker, blah 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 blah. Number of questions. And then the format is going to be true or false. So I'm going to say true or false now. We're going to just delete the part about the multiple choice stuff. It's going to be true or false with an example. And that's great. That's beautiful. And now all we need is the open-ended example, and we're good to go. So same thing. I'm going to create. I have no idea. There's probably a better standard practice for creating prompt templates. It's definitely not. Probably not like that, where I'm just, writing as functions, but honestly, I don't want to think about it. I just want to do it. So, and I'm just going to copy the first part. Yeah, the format, blah, 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 blah. And now I'm going to just say something here. The format is as follows. Let's just put this like this, and then like this, and then this should go like this. Yep. We can put it like this. Beautiful. Can put it like this, and then I can say prompt is equal to chat prompt template from template, and then return the prompt. So now we have all these 3 templates. So what we're going to do is we're going to come over here and we're going to say, okay, when I generate the answer, we're going to have a prompt template for each type of question. And then we're going to have a Pydantic JSON schema for each type of question so that we can get organized. So it's going to be, so the prompt template is going to be defined when we click the generate quiz. So what we're going to do is quiz type is something. And if quiz type is equal to multiple choice, prompt template is equal to something. We're going to have to load from our template. So we're going to from quiz templates, import all of those quiz templates. Exactly. And then we're going to say quiz type here. We're going to come back. Oh, no, let's go back. There we go. So if quiz type is equal to multiple choice, we're going to create a template for that part. And then elif it's true or false. And then elif open-ended. But they are prompt template create. So it didn't load over there. Okay. Create open-ended template. Beautiful, which is created right here. Perfect. So now that we have that, folks, what we're going to do is we're going to come back here. We're going to say, okay, this is cool. We have it. It should work like a boss. So we just got to test it out. Multiple choice, da-da-da-da-da. So we got to get the correct prompt template. So yeah, when we do that, we need the correct output parser, right? So the quiz chain now is going to be something that takes in a pydantic object, pydantic object schema. I'm going to call it. It's a terrible name. Pydantic object schema. It's probably not the best idea, but it's okay. Now, we know that for true or false, this thing was working perfect, right? So I'm just going to call this true, false, quiz, true, false, quiz, true, false. That's beautiful. Quiz, true, false. This thing can go away. Yeah, quiz, true, false. So, create quiz chain. So now for the create quiz chain, when we have this, the pydantic object schema is create, yeah, and then that will go right here. Now we need a new one for multiple choice. For multiple choice, folks, all we're gonna have is class quiz multiple choice, and then let's see. Nah, I don't like that. Questions, answers. No, because we need the alternatives. So we're gonna have to have questions is going to have to be a dictionary. Let's see. Quiz text, quiz questions, quiz answers. So questions can be a list, but then alternatives would have to be a list of lists. Yeah, why not? Let's do simple. So alternatives, and then it's going to be a list of lists. Yeah, GitHub Copilot got it. The quiz alternatives for each question. Yeah, beautiful. I don't know why I'm doing this. All right, so I think that it should work. Quiz multiple choice. I don't know if it's going to work, but hopefully it will. And now I can say pydantic object schema something. Multiple choice. Okay, quiz type, parada. So I'm going to say pydantic object schema is equal to this. And this is equal to this. I don't know if we're supposed to do it like this. Maybe like this. No idea. Well, we'll find that out soon enough. And then for open-ended, for open-ended, we're just gonna maybe for open-ended, the output answer is gonna come with a feedback from a large language model. That could be cool. That could be interesting. Maybe that's interesting. I don't know. Maybe that is interesting. So let's but the structure is very simple. Class. So quiz, open-ended. Again, so then we're gonna have quiz text, questions and answers. That's very close to the quiz true false. The problem is how you calculate the score at the end. And definitely not gonna calculate the same way. So it's gonna be just questions and answers, no quiz text. Yeah, and we're going to change how we score it when it's open-ended, right? Because for multiple choice and true false is relatively similar. Okay, so now that we have this set up here, we just got to go over there, and for the quiz type, blah, 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 we're going to say quiz open-ended, and now that should work. Now we have to address the calculation of the score in the different conditions. I think that we're okay with true false. True false seems like it's working. So let's just try it out with true false, because I know it's we're getting issues with the multiple choice, of course. But let's see if this one works. So we're gonna say true or false, and we're gonna generate a quiz. Okay, true, false. Okay, so I'm gonna generate a quiz again because there's like some weird stuff going on over there. All right, and then true, true. Submit the answers. 0 out of true. That's not a good start. Models are designed to process and generate human-like text. Da 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 da. Generate the quiz. Form template. Da 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 da. Identity object schema something. And then we created. For this one, it should have worked like text. They're designed to process text. Yes, that's true. Models are trained on vast amounts of data. Also true. So when I submit this, it should be correct. And it's saying that it's not. So that is a problem. Let's see why that's a problem. Let's take a look at what we've done so far. So we have, let's say, the questions and the answers. And let's generate a new quiz. Okay, so we have these 3 questions, and then it's like true, true, false, the correct answers. Models are designed to process text. GPT is an example of a large language model. Models are trained on small data sets. And then it's the score is incorrect. That is very annoying. So now we changed something that is affecting the calculation of the score. So let's see, what was that? So submit, user answers, correct answer, ta-da-da-da-da. Okay, well, obviously we did change the quiz type stuff, so probably that's the issue that we had. Okay, Marta, such thing, so questions, beautiful, answers. Let's see, the quiz true or false was the same as before. Quiz text, questions, answers. That's it. So why would it give me now an issue if it's the same as before? Because we changed the prompt, but I mean, so what? Create true or false template. Number of questions. Ah, there you go. Okay, got it. Number of questions. Da-da-da-da-da. Yeah, so quiz type, I think quiz type is not going into this template anymore, right? Just number of questions and the context. Number of questions and the context, precisely. So let's understand a little bit what's going on over here. Number of questions and the context. So when we invoke, we don't give the quiz type anymore because it should already know, right? And we create, and there we go. We give the prompt. No, the prompt template is correct. So now it's just number of questions, yeah, because the create quiz chain, yeah, create quiz chain, and then with structure output with the PyDent object schema, which is the schema that we're setting. So this thing that I'm doing now should work. So let's see, let's say true, true, false, true, true, false, 0 out of 3 still. All right, so this is very annoying. Why would we be getting an incorrect score calculation given that we are doing everything correctly? Create true, false, quiz true, false. Okay, maybe because it wasn't true, false. So let's see, true, false. Yeah, that's correct. Large language models. Ta-da-da-da-da. Huh. Okay. Oh, wait. Create quiz questions. Quiz text, questions, answers. Okay, great. And then we split them into questions and answers. Okay. Okay, but we're not splitting them anymore. Quiz response, questions, answers, and then user answers, and then context, number of questions, and then quiz type index. And the index is quiz type. Quiz type index. Okay. and then multiple choice, and then we have prompt template, Pydantic object schema. Why would that be happening? Selection, quiz type, 0. Okay, and then we go to calculate, process the submission. Everything here looks good. Selected option. This looks good. And then we get session state user answers. Let me see if ChatGPT can figure this out. Generate quiz. I'm going to try one more time. This is now still 0 out of 3. And in this app, the score is always returning 0 for the true false option. What is the issue? Let's see what's the issue. The issue is likely due to how answers are being set and subsequently compared. To address, you need to ensure that values being compared are format if the correct answer is stored. Okay. So we're gonna get an update to the display questions option. That's nice. Okay, this I remember is incorrect because this equal to true is not, it cannot be correct. This thing here that it's doing, it can't be right. It just cannot be right. Maybe I'm going crazy, but it doesn't look right. I don't think it's right. But let's try it out. So now let's generate another quiz with this new version. And now the answers are true, true, false. We submit, and it's still incorrect. That's very annoying. Submit. Yeah, no, it's incorrect. But now if I say, if I remove this, I'm pretty sure. Okay. 0 out of 3. So true, true, false again. Oh, now it seems to be working. So let's say false here. And now it's true. Okay, so let's try one more. So the correct answers are true, true. We have one false, one true. So 1 out of 2. And now 2, true. There we go. So now we got it working. So the true, false option is working. We just got to make the multiple choice work. How do we do that? I have no idea, but let's see if Copilot can figure out. Write the display option for multiple choice following the schema and the structure defined. Let's see if we can write it for me. So we need, for the multiple choice, we need the alternatives to be displayed, right? I don't know if that's going to work out, but we're going to see. So user question. So we have a question ID, alternatives. That's correct. That's nice. Okay, this looks good. This looks good. This looks good. Let's take a look. So nope, that doesn't look good. Doesn't look good at all. Missing a submit button. Okay. I don't know what that means. Okay, so first let's see if this was created. It wasn't. Yeah. So since this wasn't created, we're gonna create it, right? So when we get the response, yeah, there we go. This session state, this creation should depend on the type of object that was generated, right? So if quiz type is equal to multiple choice, we create the alternatives option, right? So this is important. So this is very important. So let's generate the quiz again. Let's see what happens. Okay, so we got less errors. Validation errors for alternatives is not valid list. Okay, so we got a Pydantic issue now. So we gotta inspect the output for the multiple choice object type thing. So we gotta do what? We gotta say, all right, quiz response. And then I'm gonna come here and quiz response. I'm gonna say st.write the entire quiz response, all right? Because I just want to look at what it looks like. That's what I want to do. Instead of doing that inside the display function anymore, which was very annoying. Yeah, I don't like this at all. I don't like these types of like big. Okay, so models are generated process text, blah, 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 form submit method, create a form, use, tarari, tarara. All right. So let's first generate and see the object that's outputted from Pydantic, because I want to see if there's an issue with the alternatives list, because that's something that we've done. You know, that was the first time that we did that. So it wasn't necessarily going to work. Now it's taking a little bit longer to generate. I don't know why. It's annoying. Let's see. Come on. Okay, we're almost there. We're almost there. Just one more second. And it's taking way too long, so I'm going to stop this. I'm going to generate the quiz. And no, I stopped this. I'm just going to rerun this app again. Open in work, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to go get my, I'm going to paste the OpenAI key here in my little app. I'm going to write large language models. And I'm going to generate the quiz. Probably going to get an error, but I just want to know what kind of error. Oh, look at that, folks. Booyah! We're getting it to work, and it's looking good. Ah, this is very cool. All right, so we got, what are our large language models? A, B, C, D. Which company developed GPT-3? A, B, C, D. What are the purpose of fine-tuning? Submit, score 0 out of 3. So let's see. Let's put it correct to OpenAI. Oh, no. Okay, but I do remember that for multiple choice, okay, so now let's just calculate the score correctly for multiple choice, okay? So process submission, if parari parara, yeah, this is incorrect. So what I'm gonna say is if, and this should not be like an else, it should be like elif quiz type, but quiz type, I need like quiz type to be, I have a session state quiz type, right? I do. Is what? Index quiz type. Okay. Dot index. Okay, that's confusing. Why not just do it with the quiz type? Sessions.get quiz type. Okay. Quiz type selection box. Da 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 da. All right. So if the quiz type, so in the process submission, we need to know what kind of quiz it was. So quiz type should be given here. And then it's going to be like if quiz type is equal to multiple choice. Let me see if this is the correct. Yeah, it is. We're going to do something. And then if quiz type is equal to true false, we're going to do what we were doing before, which was working great. And now I need to write this quiz type option, and then I need to be able to access and send to the process submission the quiz type variable. So let's just write this one. So write the score calculation for multiple choice. So we're going to go there and 1, 2, 3, 4, and let's go. Let's see if it works. So the one thing here, yeah, what I'm not a big fan is that I need to know that the alternatives are being considered. And this thing just looks like a copy of the option for multiple choice, which is it correct? Ah, it might be. It might be. Let's see. It might be correct. Yeah, it might be. Always rerun. Okay. Oh, okay. So that's weird. This app generates da 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 da. Okay, so now the app's not showing up. I don't know why. This is very confusing. This app generates something something. If question's not in session state, what? Okay, that's confusing. Let's try that again. Okay, there we go. We have our app working. Okay, so there we go. And now we can put large language models. We can generate the quiz. Okay, this looks interesting. Let's see. What are large language models? Models that can understand, generate language, can understand human language. Only human language models can understand or generate human language. Okay, so A is correct. OpenAI, which purpose fine-tuning a model to make it larger, adjust to a task or data set. Beautiful. So these are all correct. Ah, no. Missing quiz type. Oh, that makes sense. Okay, that makes sense. So now let's see where this process submission function is being called. Yeah, it's being called right here. So we need to be able to give the give process submission the quiz type. Is that what we need to do? I want to know if on this scope the quiz type is accessible, but it is. Yes, it definitely is. So now always rerun, submit, score 0 out of 3. That's not good because my answer was actually correct. So why would that be wrong? Why would it be wrong? Let's see, folks. Let's take a look. Okay, beautiful, beautiful. OpenAI. Section. So what are models? Algorithms that process large amounts of data. No, models that can generate human-like text. Company, OpenAI. Purpose of fine-tuning. Adjust to a specific task. Submit answer. Nope. Still wrong. Okay. So now I need to understand why is it calculating the score incorrectly. So all I got to do is come here. Honestly, you know what all I got to do is I'm just going to give this one to ChatGPT. I'm going to say, in this app, the score for multiple choice is being wrongly calculated as 0 every time. Fix it, please. Because, why not? And if you have it and GPT-4 can do it for you, why waste the time? So the selected option. Okay, so the selected option was the issue. Let's take a look and see if that was actually the problemo. So we're going to get selected option. So multiple choice, selected option, selected option. So options is the alternatives. And then selected option is something. Okay, this is a bit weird. And then user answers I, but alternatives I, because it's like the alternatives for that particular question. And then we put it to select by the user, and then we select the option gets saved. Okay. Display questions. Okay, so if quiz type something, okay, so it's in the display questions again. So let's see if that works now. So we're using GPT-4 option. Okay, hopefully that's gonna work. So that's delete, submit. Yes, it works, folks. It freaking works. So now, for this one, for the last one, for the open-ended. So folks, let's just recap what we have, right? We can come here, we can say, okay, Python programming, okay? We can say 3 questions, and I want to say true or false, and then I generate a quiz, okay? So then when I generate the quiz, Python is a statistically typed language. No. Statically typed. Yeah, it's not statically typed. Is it object-oriented programming? True. Python is compiled. False. Submit. That's not wrong. Oh, no. Now it's making mistakes for the other one. Come on. Why? Yeah, no, it's just calculating it incorrectly. What am I doing wrong now? Okay, so when we go back here, your score. If it's true or false, yeah, this is correct. The only thing that could be off is that when it gets to, okay, let's see that. st.write quiz type. True or false. Okay, so the answers are false, true, true. So let's say false, true, and true. Nope. And the quiz type is correct when we get to submission. So I don't know why it would do this. Unless true, false. Huh. So why would it do that? Why would it give the wrong score? Because I had already fixed this, so I do not understand why it's still giving me issues. Yeah, no, there's nothing to do with that. Selected option, true or false. And then that gets stored in the user answers. And then when you get here, user answers and the actual answers, right? Unless, I see. Okay, so I think I see the issue now. Yeah, I see the issue now. So the issue is that sometimes what we get back in the object is incorrect in terms of the answers. The answers come with like a number or whatever it is instead of just being true or false. So we're going to fix that in the Pydantic object schema. So for true or false, the answers are going to be a list, the quiz answers for each question, right? As, yeah, true or false only. Yeah. So I think that should solve the issue of sometimes getting this inconsistency. Yeah. So we want the answers to look like this because when they do, we get the correct answer. So now statistically typed false, true, false is not suitable for web development. It is. Come on. 3 out of 3. Beautiful. But if I put true, 2 out of 3. So our calculation is correct. We were just having an issue with how we get the output from Pydantic, but now we fixed that just in the field description. And now you can go to multiple choice, for example, and we can say, oh, we have a quiz from before, which right now should be wrong. But if I put OpenAI, text, and adjust the task, it should go to 3. Come on. It's not going to 3. Let's generate a quiz, and let's see what happens. Now we get a validation error for the alternatives because it's not a valid list. Okay. So for multiple choice, we get a list of strings, the quiz alternative for each question as a list of lists. Yeah, alternatives as a list of lists. Let's see. Okay, still getting the validation error. Huh. Okay, why would we get validation error for quiz multiple choice? Okay, you know what we're gonna do? You're gonna cheat a little bit. What we're gonna do is we're gonna use a better model. We should have done that before. We're gonna just say, okay, LLM is equal to ChatGPT, and the model is going to be, and I should have done that before, GPT-4 0125 preview. And let's generate the quiz now. Okay, so it's going to take, a little bit more time because it's GPT-4. Define a function in Python, so it's with def. Which of the following is the correct way to create a list in Python? Is this is the way. And then what does length mean? Python return the length of an interval. 3 out of 3. There we go. All right, this is pretty cool. All right, folks, I think that this is it. Maybe I'll add the open-ended template part of the quiz. I'll put it on GitHub somewhere so that you folks can check it out. But I think that this video has gone for way too long. And I hope you like this video. If you like it, don't forget to like and subscribe, and see you next time. Cheers.